Hello, I'm Jasmine from FNZIPP Lounge and I'm interviewing Rachel Callander today. She's a beautiful wedding photographer from New Zealand and I'm lucky enough to have a chat. She's got so many amazing things that she's been doing. She's done the Superpower baby project. She's written her own book.
Exhibit A.
She's a fellow in the NZIPP and just basically awesome in general, I think.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'm going to start off with my favourite 5. All right, so for those who don't know, what was your career path? How did you get from an aspiring photographer to where you are today?
I think photography has been something that's been in my life since I can remember as a small girl. But the key moment for me was when I was at high school, around 14 years old, doing art, and my art teacher said to me, you know, Rach, you can actually study art once you leave high school. And that was like the biggest aha moment. I was like, are you serious? Like, art can actually be a career, you know, and this was the greatest news of my 14-year-old life at the time. So from that moment, I was all about getting into photography. So going through that darkroom process, falling in love with that, and then I went to tertiary education and I did a fine art degree majoring in photography.
Amazing.
And then graduated and started a business. So photography has always been part of my life. And so that was my path. And along with that, I made a lot of mistakes. I learned a lot. I have surrounded myself with an amazing community in New Zealand, similar to the IPPY. It's our sister community. And that's been my journey.
Sounds really good. From the beginning, you got to thank that teacher one day. So, all right. So, what's your favourite lens, gear, and why?
My favourite lens is a lens I don't actually own. I stupidly traded it in, and now I am going to steal it off Nathan Madigan. It's the 105 2.8 Nikon lens, and I could basically use it for everything, I feel. I love it. I love getting close. I love getting super close. It's a beautiful portrait lens, and I just feel like it just makes me feel like myself, like I can create what I see with it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's my lens. So.
And anything else that you use all the time that
I have the 58 1.4 Nikon lens, and that's glorious as well. So those two combined, I think it's a winner. Yeah, beautiful.
Nice. All right, so what's the best advice that you've been given in your career?
I went on a workshop a couple of years ago. It was the We Are the Parsons workshop, and the little phrase that they mentioned stuck out to me, and it was the fact that people are just people, and as a wedding photographer, we're surrounded by people, and sometimes I can get a little bit scared, like I don't know, we're put in situations that aren't normal for us, or we can kind of feel small, and when I learned that phrase, you know, people are just people, it kind of strips everything away and we become equal, and then I could see them better, I could serve them better, and then I could photograph them better, and then I enjoyed them more, and then I enjoyed my work more. So that was crucial for me.
Yeah. Bringing the personal element into it.
Yeah.
So what other photographers have been the biggest influence on you?
The biggest influence, the photographer that I love the most, I think, is Nick Brandt, an incredible wildlife photographer. I was fortunate enough to see his exhibition in Stockholm last year, and it just made me cry. These massive images, like as big as a room. I think I resonate with him because he is an advocate as well as an artist. And I think those two things combined is a really powerful force in the world, and that's been very inspiring for me in terms of my Superpower Baby project, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But and just the images are magnificent as well, are just really powerful. But on the other side of the spectrum, Lisa Sard is a favourite at the moment. I love her aesthetic and her colour palette, and she's brilliant.
Yes, she is. All right, so in your opinion, what makes a good picture stand out from the average?
I guess for me, a really amazing photograph, it either will ask a question or it will be a really bold statement, and you'll feel it and you'll respond to that. So it'll be emotive, or it'll be powerful aesthetically or colour palette, and I really respond to those things all at once. So it's the combination of aesthetics and emotion and just that sense of asking a question or saying something really powerfully.
Yep. I like that answer. All right, so for those who haven't heard about your amazing book, The Superpower Baby Project, how did that all get inspired, conjured up, and what's the effect it's had on, the aftermath of that?
Yeah, well, it is a personal project inspired by my beautiful daughter Evie, who was born with a rare chromosomal condition. And basically she taught us about love and about life and a way of doing life that was completely unconventional, and there was a lot of freedom in our life. And I think there's such a stigma around disability, and we were constantly faced with what's wrong with her questions and deficit mentality language, and it was exhausting because as a parent I only saw beauty and hope and potential and just this beautiful soul in the world. And then one day it kind of just hit me that if I was feeling these things about my daughter and seeing so much beauty in her and her amazing abilities, then surely there were parents out in the world that were thinking the same thing about their children and having the same struggles about not being able to speak about their child positively and always being faced with this negative, hard reality of their medical condition. So I decided it would be a nice idea to travel the country and photograph these children and make an amazing art book out of it. And so I crowdfunded really successfully a lot of money, which was amazing, to produce this fine art book which celebrates the lives of 75 children in New Zealand living with a whole range of different conditions and syndromes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then since publishing the book, the New Zealand media picked it up. There's a mini documentary that was produced. I have presented a TED Talk, and then from there I've been asked to speak at medical conventions, health forums, and it's blowing up and it's amazing.
And it's a powerful message.
It is.
It's really interesting for me because I have that medical background being a paediatric nurse and knowing the ins and outs of the language that is used quite often and the effect of that does have, and the power of how that's handled can really have a massive effect on families. And I had a real kind of moment watching your TED Talk of being really it's such a great message, and the more people that can sort of be exposed to this book, and particularly new and old, maybe it's the more old medical professionals that maybe need some refreshing in being empowering the parents a little bit more, because I know that there is a lot of effort in particularly hospitals now that they do want to involve the families, but often they don't know how to empower them. So this is a really great, strong message that is, great.
It is. Yeah. And I think it's the images as well. People respond to the images because they're not used to seeing these children or these people as being beautiful, or seeing their abilities, or seeing even their personalities. And I think it's the combination of, I guess, authentic imagery and that language, and it's just opening people up to a bigger view of humanity, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, super
as
special.
a culture, to evolve into love and kindness and acceptance.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for having a chat with me today, Rachel.
It's my pleasure, Jazz. It's awesome.
Yeah. Anyone who's interested, Hair of the Dog in Queensland in February with the IPPY, Rachel's going to be speaking there, so you should totally get a ticket and go. I wish I could come. But if you are going, you need to go see Rachel. You can't miss out. She's going to be talking lots of amazing things.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Rachel.
Jazz. Thanks, everyone.
See you next time.
Ka kite ano.
I figured it was something.
It's Maori for goodbye.
Yes, that's what I figured it was for.